This is how Alex Pereira beats Magomed Ankalaev. Here we are, the matchup that 205 desperately needed, and we're only 2 weeks away. I feel like with all the news Dana just dropped, I almost forgot that this banger is coming up, and this will either prove the greatness of Alex Pereira once again, or this could be Magomed stopping his historical streak in its tracks. Alex, despite all of his accomplishments at 205 and the generational run he has had in the UFC, has opened into this fight the underdog, but as the fight nears, the odds have gotten very, very close, with some even going as far as making Alex the favorite. But for the most part, in anticipation for this fight, Alex has been an underdog throughout. So in today's video, let's break down how the underdog and Alex Pereira can beat Magomed Ankalaev. So right off the bat, let's get rid of this misconception that Magomed Ankalaev is primarily a wrestler. That is simply untrue. Look, I know Magomed fits the bill. Dagestani, check. Muslim first name, Russian last name, check. Sambo base, check. Only one guard used in his haircut, with a beard, with little to no mustache, check. Yes, he has all of those things, but you would be a fool to think the guy is a wrestler. In his 14 fights in the UFC, he averages less than 1 takedown in his career. The highest amount of takedowns he landed is only 3 in his fight against Nikita Krylov. For reference, Dricus du Plessis, someone most people wouldn't consider primarily a wrestler, averages nearly triple the amount of takedowns Magomed attempts at 2.55 and has landed career high 6 takedowns in his fight against Sean Strickland the first time and his fight against Darren Till. Jan Blachowicz, a guy in the same weight class as Magomed Ankalaev, technically lands more takedowns than him at 1.09. Additionally, he became a wrestler against Alex and still couldn't get past him, so that's also something to note. And it doesn't take a genius to just scroll through his past performances and see that he really only gets decisions or knockouts. Despite him being from Dagestan, he is primarily a striker, usually getting his wins through outpointing his opponents and occasionally finding the KO. And when we look at his tape, his objective is usually to move forward, land straight shots, though we'll get into that soon. But yeah, I just wanted to establish in the first couple minutes of this video that just because someone can wrestle doesn't necessarily mean they are a wrestler, and Magomed Ankalaev is just one of those many examples. So in this breakdown, don't think this is like a Khabib Nurmagomedov Conor McGregor matchup. This is a completely different fight entirely. So how does Magomed Ankalaev fight then? In preparation for this video, I watched a lot of Magomed Ankalaev, and I forget he's really fast. Most of his game plan is walking his opponent down, moving forward, and quickly letting off straight punches, especially his really quick and precise left hand. That is Magomed Ankalaev's go-to strike. It's a naked left hand or a rear hand that isn't set up with a jab or a lead strike. This is a really good strike as it comes out of nowhere. Usually, the rear hand is set up by typically a jab, but because most fighters are conditioned to this, sometimes a rear hand can be anticipated if a jab or something is thrown continuously. With the naked left hand Magomed throws, especially with the speed he throws it at, he catches a lot of people off guard. He was landing that left all night against Rakic. He dropped Kutalaba here as there was basically no setup with that punch. It's a strike he continuously throws and has really good success with, and I know 100% that that's going to be a strike he will lead with going into this fight with Alex. And despite the power Alex holds, I think to some degree, Magomed's game is going to be practically the same. Move forward, quickly get in and out with strikes, and land the straight left hand consistently. He's done this against a lot of power strikers in the UFC like Thiago Santos, Jan Blachowicz, etc. Despite him probably or actually being able to take down those guys pretty easily, Magomed still loves to pick his shots and move forward and stay striking. And you know what? I think Alex should let him. Moving backwards and letting Magomed Ankalaev get into a rhythm has a lot of benefits for Alex. For one, the countering opportunities will be insane. As Alex lets Magomed move forward, get into a rhythm, maybe even let him land a couple fast straight left hands, he will almost lull Magomed into a state where he will forget about the counter. We saw this in the Thiago Santos fight where Magomed got a little too complacent, which opened up Magomed for a left hook here that rocked him and led to another that would eventually drop him. We saw a lapse here against Lungiabula as Magomed pressed forward and didn't see the quick counter right that landed to Magomed's temple that got him wobbling. This is not to say Magomed is not going to be on guard and not going to be tentative when throwing his shots against Alex. Alex is the hardest hitting 205er and arguably the hardest hitting UFC fighter ever, but Magomed is not going to be perfect. No one can, and I can see Alex finding his opportunity when Magomed just gets a little too complacent on one of those straight left hands that he throws almost subconsciously. And the beautiful thing about Alex's power is that he also can throw it with a lack of setup on his delivery. While most guys start charging in and loading up on strikes, Alex can go 0 to 100 with power and speed. We saw it come out of nowhere with his head kick on Yuri in the second fight. It came out of nowhere in the Jamal Hill fight, and finally in his knockout with Sean Strickland. When Magomed throws that straight left, I think Alex can do a number of things, starting with the clear left hook counter if Magomed does throw without putting his right hand up. Alex can also counter same side, which will definitely throw Magomed off. It could be a similar combination of the right hook, left hook he landed on Yuri here in their first fight, or he could throw a right kick on that side and really throw Magomed off. Again, the key into even getting Magomed to throw a complacent left hand is to give him a false sense of security, letting him even land a couple and move forward confidently. As great as that Khalil Roundtree fight was, Alex was walking him down and there was constantly a sense of imminent danger. With this fight against Magomed Ankalaev, Alex can't do that because if Magomed senses any danger, he will grapple, and we'll get into this sooner, but Alex is going to have a tough time defending and getting back up. So for Alex, he should just let Magomed do his thing striking-wise while he looks for his opening to generate power with no prior warnings, giving Magomed literally no time to make the adjustment to win the fight. So basically, once this strike lands, the fight should already be over. So this next part of the game plan is something that I'm tentative to add, but it's definitely something we need to address. Leg kicks have always been the Achilles heel to Magomed Ankalaev, pun intended. We saw it work extremely effective when Jan Blachowicz faced Magomed Ankalaev. It was one of the worst, or I guess in this case, the best displays of crushing leg kicks to the point where Magomed couldn't hide the pain and started wobbling at certain points in the fight. It slowed down his footwork, which hindered his ability to pop quick left hands, which led him to making an adjustment late to start grappling rounds 4 and 5. And in the Rakic fight, the leg kick was the only thing landing consistently for Rakic and was extremely effective in the first round especially. And with Alex being one of the best leg kickers in the UFC right now, there's no way Magomed is going to be able to effectively defend those leg kicks, especially with how Alex doesn't telegraph or turn his hips to throw, which I think is a positive and negative for Alex. Positive in the fact that, yeah, he will land some hard leg kicks pretty much every time he throws, and that will slow down Magomed's movement and make it hard for him to burst for a straight left or explode for a takedown. Though, this is negative in the fact that Magomed, probably feeling those first couple of leg kicks, might go, fuck this, let me go straight into the grappling, which of course will not be good for Alex as he has basically zero opportunity to land, and he's not the greatest grappler. So I don't know. Sure, Alex's leg kicks would be devastating, but I would use them sparingly as to not make Magomed a full-on wrestler. And in this whole video, I've pretty much assumed that Ankalaev was going to stick to his normal striking self and not make a huge shift in style like Jan did against Alex. Magomed on social media has been adamant that he will keep this fight standing, he will try to strike with Alex, and I really do think that his pride will keep this fight standing and he will continuously strike. As we've seen before, even against other power strikers, he will always strike unless he really needs to use his grappling. But we should expect at least one takedown from Ankalaev. And again, going back to moving backwards is going to play a big role in getting back up. Alex is, relatively speaking, pretty easy to get taken down, and I don't think he is going to improve enough to defend consistently against Magomed Ankalaev, so let's focus on him getting back up effectively. As not good of a grappler Alex is, he actually knows what to do to get back up, especially making use of his long frame on the cage. Here in the Yuri fight, he uses his long frame on the cage to slowly but surely get back up to his feet. Here, when Jan takes him down, he does a great job inching his way towards the cage and pushing off his legs to get back up. Though conversely, in the same fight, when he gets taken down in the middle of the octagon, he has no clue how to get back up that far from the cage and just lays there until the end of the fight. With Alex backing up in our game plan, not only does that benefit him striking wise, but additionally, he can make use of that cage come the time Magomed does decide to grapple. So yeah, what do you guys think about this game plan of Alex purposely moving backwards, letting Magomed Ankalaev get into a rhythm and countering that straight left he always throws, also utilizing the cage to get back up while also throwing those leg kicks sparingly? It's going to be a lot for Alex in this matchup, but I do think he can get this done, especially as the underdog. And what do you guys think about this fight in general? Who is going to win? How is this fight going to play out? Magomed Ankalaev has always been labeled as the wrestler that's going to take Alex down, but in my opinion, I really do think this is going to be more of a striking exchange. But anyways, thank you guys for watching, of course, and always supporting, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.